There's a song that I sing whenever I'm sad, feeling bad. There's a place in my head that I go when I'm feeling low. No matter what you go through, do not forget that. Listen, no matter what you go through in this prison planet, in this matrix, in this illusion, do not forget one thing. Do not forget that it's all a dream. Do not forget that you're dreaming. The mind wants to forget. The reason why the mind wants to forget is because it wants to be entertained. But you don't want to forget. Forgetting that you're dreaming makes you miserable. It always does. It does in your sleeping dreams. You're miserable in your sleeping dreams because you don't know that you're dreaming. You're like, this is real, man. Ish. There's a snake in my room. I need to find the snake. Where is the snake hiding? You're taking the dream seriously. You believe that there's a background story. You don't realize that what you saw happening is all that happened. There's nothing else that happened that you didn't see happen. Your mind wants to be entertained. Your mind wants to create stories. You might ask yourself, why do I sometimes create scenarios in my head that makes me miserable? Your mind does not care if the scenarios that you're creating in your head are making you miserable. It wants to be entertained. But if you realize that there was no background story, if you didn't see something happen, it didn't happen. If you only think it might have happened, doesn't mean that it did happen. I remember when I was young, I think I was 15. So me and my friend were eating pap with chicken feet. So we're eating, and there was only one left on the plate. So we fought for it. Hey, we fought for it, and then it fell down. It was at night, but we could see. I was still young, I could see very well. My friend doesn't have an eye problem, could see very well. We looked down, we didn't see it. We saw it fall down, but we didn't. It's like it disappeared. His phone had a flashlight. We tried to look for it, we didn't find it. It's like, what the hell is going on? The only other logical explanation would be that maybe he put it in his pocket because he wanted to eat it, but that's just weird, right? I mean, he will just eat it. If he got it, if he was the one who got it, he will just eat it without having to hide it. You know what I'm saying? He would just eat it because it's not like I was going, like once he put it in his mouth, that's it. So we looked for it and we didn't find it. Where did it go? I've been in situations where we saw a snake entering a place and we look for it and we don't find it. And you'll be like, yeah, snakes know how to hide. You're like, nah, where did it go? We saw it entering the room. Where did it go? Where? It's a small room. It doesn't have a lot of things. The snake must be here, but where did it go? We've removed everything. We made the whole room empty. Where did the snake go? And I've 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 experienced this so many times, and I'm sure a lot of people have experienced this. Like a snake maybe enters a room and you just don't find it. No matter how hard you look, now you don't even sleep in peace. You spend 3 or 4 days without sleeping in that room, and then you finally decide, like, yo, whatever happens, happen. You go and sleep in the room, and you don't ever encounter a snake. You just sleep, and that's it. You lose something and you never find it. You know it was in your room, but it's like it disappeared. You never find it again in your life. You lose a wallet and you think, yeah, maybe someone stole it. But when you think back, you're like, nah, man. The jean that I was wearing wouldn't allow it. Like, I would feel if someone is trying to, like, remove the wallet. It's like it disappeared. Your mind wants to be entertained. Your mind wants to create theories. Your mind wants to accuse. Your mind wants you to hate. Your mind wants you to create stories, narratives. Your mind wants you to do that. But that makes you miserable. There's a scene from a TV series called Mind Hunters. So these guys, I think they're detectives, they were trying to study some of the worst criminals ever. So they ended up, yeah, they will need, like, every episode they find a new like someone who has done something very, very horrible. They'll interview them just to see how they think, so that they will know what goes on in the minds of psychopaths, so that it will help them solve their cases much faster, because now they understand how these people think. So they ended up interviewing my Charles Manson. That episode made me laugh, because the guy that played Charles Manson, like, he was that good, bro. Like, you'd swear it was Charles. So when he was interviewing Charles, about the matters, all of that, Charles says something very deep. He was like, you he said something like, you don't see the truth, because you don't want to see it. You see, my truth is different. Your truth is. Damn, what did he say? But he said, now the only thing, one thing that you don't realize is that the only thing that is real is now. Nothing else is real. The only thing that's real. But the way he put it was so brilliant. It's just that I even watched that scene in, like, a long time, so I forgot how he really put it. Right. But I thought that was interesting, because he always wanted to say something profound. So to have him say something profound was really funny. Because when he watches his real interviews, he's always trying to say something very, very profound. The only thing that is real is what you're seeing now. It's what you're experiencing now. That's the only thing that is real. But I'll take it far and say nothing that you have seen, that you have not seen, has happened, and it shouldn't even be in your memory. If you have not seen something happen, you have never been told that it happened, then it didn't. If you meet a person and they talk to you about something and then they leave, don't assume any don't assume that they have a background story, like they come from somewhere. They woke up in the morning and then they come. Forget about it. Like, it's too much on the mind, and not even on you. Your mind wants to create stories. Your mind wants you to believe this is real, right? But that's too much on you. That's heavy on you. Stop. Forget about the background story. Stop creating narratives in your head. It's all about what you saw happen, and that's it. That's it. The same way, like if you're watching a movie, if you're watching a movie and it cuts to a scene where, you know, maybe guys are fighting, your mind is gonna automatically assume that there was something else that they were doing before they started to fight. You know what I'm saying? But the real truth is that that's it. There's no background story. These guys are fighting, they're acting, and that's what's happening. Nothing has happened before that time. Like, uh, you know what I'm saying? Like, but when you're watching it, it feels like they have background stories, right? But they don't. It's just acting. Same with dreams, right? You think that the characters that you interact with in your dreams, they have their own background stories, but do they? So you focusing on the background stories, you know, trying to solve uh the problems that you have in life by creating stories, you are actually making things harder for yourself. See, the mind is entertained, but you're making things harder for yourself. You're basically feeding this illusion, the matrix. It would be like if you had schizophrenia and maybe you saw someone who, well, wasn't real, and you told yourself that this person has a background story. They're not just my projection, they have a background story, and you create a story in your head. Don't you think that you'll be making yourself miserable? It's like they're not real, whatever. Maybe pretend like they're not there if they are making you miserable. Your mind wants to be entertained, but by entertaining your mind, you're making things harder for you. There's a reason. If you watch movies like Shutter Island, there's a reason why there's been many online discussions about the movie, whether Teddy was Andrew or if it was really Teddy. If you went to the island as a detective, or if you went to an island as a patient. Some people think it's obvious, like, oh, he didn't go to the island as a patient. Actually, I mean, he went to the island as a patient. You know, he was scared of water and he couldn't remove, like, it took him time to remove his gun. If he was a trained detective, he will actually be able to remove a gun very quickly. He didn't see the water when the lady was drinking water. That shows you that he's afraid of water. So his mind, uh, you know, blocked the water so he couldn't see it. And when they explained to him, he kind of remembered, so it made sense. You'd be like, oh, it makes complete sense. But what if you can actually um, tell an opposite story, but that will make sense? That will make sense, right? Maybe the reason why they were giving him cigarettes is because they're trying to drag him, right? Maybe the reason why he couldn't remove his gun is because of the cigarette that he was smoking. It was doing something to his head. The reason why he couldn't see the water is because there's trauma, yes, uh, that that's related to water. So he is actually scared of water, but the story that they're telling him is not true. Like, they know how he thinks, they know what he's been through, so they know he's scared of water. Maybe the reason why that lady wrote a note and told him to run, because why would she write a note and tell him to run? That was not part of the script. They don't want the dude to run, right? They just say he wasn't actually a patient. Will they want the dude to run? So if you write a note and say run, you might say no. It's because now she realized that he has a chance. He can actually escape. You know what I'm saying? But no, something felt a bit off. Maybe she knows something, and why are the patients not telling him anything? I mean, it's crazy people, right? They're supposed to tell him. They're supposed to be like, "Are you one of us? You are friends." You know what I'm saying? They know each other, maybe. So if they all know that it's a patient, they would have told him. But it seems like everyone, and maybe the reason why the guards were scared in the beginning, because some people say, oh, the guards were scared in the beginning because uh, because they knew that Teddy was a very dangerous criminal. Like, he was the most dangerous criminal, actually. So he was the most dangerous patient there. So they didn't know what he was capable of, but they could have given him a gun without bullets, and I don't think they would be that scared. You know what I'm saying? It's they are so well trained, like, compared to him. So they shouldn't really be scared. It seems like they were scared that he was going to find something out. He was going to figure. Maybe they've been doing that for a very long time. They were trying to turn him into a patient. Maybe that was not the first time they were trying. So they thought, what if this guy remembers? So let's just say he had a gun with bullets and he remembered. What was he going to do? No, what am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because I want to show you that the mind wants to create background stories. The real truth is that it's just a movie. And the the director of the movie just wanted us to ask questions, and that's it. It's just a movie. There isn't much to talk about. It is just a movie. That's it. But your mind wants to be entertained, so you're going to try to break the movie down and try to maybe make things up. Try to explain what is going. Yeah, it's because your mind wants to be, especially if you're intelligent. That's why you need to be very, very careful if you're intelligent, and you must realize if you're intelligent, because a lot of people ain't intelligent, and even if they create stories in their own head, it might not it might not be it might not be heavy on them. Like, it might not be hard on them. Why? Because they're not creating complicated stories. Like, you be creating some super complicated stories because you're intelligent, but you're making things harder for yourself because you are forgetting one thing, and this is what's really important. Always remember that this is a dream. Always remember that all of it is a dream. No matter what you're going through, you know what I'm saying? You could have went through something very, very horrible. Stop and think. Try to breathe deeply and say, this is just a dream, because it is. Right? That is, I've been telling you that if you ask me what my final truth was, I'll tell you that it's all a dream. That is my final truth. That is what I will say until the end, that it is actually a dream. The reason why I make videos coming up with conspiracy theories is so that you can wake up. It's so that I can wake up. How does that even happen? If you trust this dream, if you trust this world, if you believe that you're brought here for a good reason, I have a feeling that you will be trapped here forever. I want you to understand that it is possible to have a nightmare, to have a bad dream, to have a dream where you can be trapped. I want you to understand that that is actually possible. So, if the dream is bad and you don't see that it's bad, you will do things that could make the dream worse. I told you guys that I had a dream where I fainted. When I fainted, I had a vision. I wouldn't call it a dream. So I'm having a dream and then I faint. And then after fainting, blackout, then now I'm having a vision. And then when I woke up, I didn't wake up. And this is crazy, guys. This is actually crazy. Ever notice that if you're having a dream within a dream within a dream, you don't just wake up. You kind of like have to wake up and then wake up and then wake up. That the same way that it happened in the movie Inception. So I didn't just wake up after having a dream within a dream, or a vision within a dream. I had to wake up to the original dream, and then that's when I was able to wake up again, right? So here's the thing. Let's just say you believe this is beautiful. This is a beautiful planet. Like this life is beautiful and all of that. What if they created a simulation, right? So you're in a dream and they create a simulation. You start living in the simulation. You forget that you are in a simulation. To wake up, you need to wake up in a dream. Like you don't wake up in the real world, and what you consider to be the real world, which is not even the real world. But you need to wake up in a dream. So let's just say you believe this is a positive experience. Don't you think that you keep on going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper? How the heck are you gonna wake up? But if you realize that, oh, this world is trash, then whenever you wake up and you realize that, okay, wherever you're waking up, it's still trash, then you wake up and then you realize like you're gonna be going up. You're not gonna be entering these simulations that they'll be creating, because you see that that's where we're getting it. You know what I'm saying? So that is why I'm making videos and making you realize that no, this is a hell realm. It's not what you prefer to experience, even though your mind is interested. Because your mind doesn't give a damn at the end of the day. Your mind just wants to experience. You see, the more interested you are, the more your mind, the easier your mind will find it to be entertained, because you are taking it seriously. So you're basically entertaining your mind. But what if you started by rejecting what you don't prefer and focus more on what you prefer, and then let your mind be entertained? Because your mind doesn't care about what actually entertaining. Like you can watch a horror movie, your mind doesn't care. You can watch porn, your mind does not care. You could watch a comedy, your mind does not care. You could watch gore videos, your mind does not care. You know what I'm saying? Your mind just wants to be entertained. So be careful what entertains your mind. Be very, very careful what entertains your mind. That's why I told you in some of the videos that I've made back then, I said, learn to focus on what you prefer. If it means, like, let's just say you want to, or when you think of, if when you imagine yourself as a millionaire, you feel better. Then always imagine yourself as a millionaire. Whenever you are going through something bad that you don't like, just imagine yourself winning the lottery tomorrow. Or imagine something else happening that makes you a millionaire. Just imagine how you would live as a millionaire, the kind of cars you would drive if you're into that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Cities you go to, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you would want to do, just imagine, because you can, and feel better, because your mind doesn't even know the difference between what you consider real and what you don't consider to be real. You can entertain your mind, right? You can actually entertain. When we were kids, we were very good when it comes to entertaining our minds, and we would be creating stories that we like. When I was a kid, you know what I used to do? It's the funniest thing ever. When my friends remind me, they didn't do this, but I used to do it. I used to play with stones, right? I would have like 5 stones, and I would be like, "This is WWE. This is Brock Lesnar. This is the Undertaker." They're fighting. Brock Lesnar is beating the Undertaker. Now they count. The ref is counting 1, 2. Oh, he didn't give up. Now he's doing this. Now he's doing that. I'll be creating a story without even knowing how it's gonna end, but it always was gonna end the way that they wanted it to end. And I'll be entertained. I would do that for hours, bro. I was crazy, dude. But I felt the mind was entertained by that. So if you're choosing the wrong things to entertain your mind, then these things are what's gonna entertain your mind. And these things are gonna continue to entertain your mind. And it gets to a point where you're just rotten. No matter what you go through, please always remember this is a dream. If you die and go to heaven, and God be like, "Yeah, man, why did you believe that Christianity was true and all of that? Why didn't you believe that Islam was true?" You can tell God that Benedictine told me it was all a dream, so I believed him. I thought it made sense. God would rather punish me than you. Or take the fall. This reminds me of a scene from Atlanta, the last episode of Atlanta. It was all a dream, when the main character didn't remember that, like he didn't know how to differentiate between what he considered to be reality and what he considered to be dream. So he was after having like a sensory deprivation session, he went to the tea room and started drinking tea, and then he spoke to these 2 old women, and they just were weird. The things that they were saying made him feel like, no, this is just a dream. So he went to them and he said, "Wake up!" And they didn't wake up. and the guy who owned the place kicked him out, and he was like, "Yo, I don't understand, man. I thought it was a dream." That made me laugh. So I remember I posted a video and talking about, yeah, man, if I get to heaven and and God judged me and said you don't deserve to be here, I'll be like, yo, man, I thought the whole thing was a dream. I didn't think it was real. Like, will he have the right to blame me if I thought it was only a dream and it was real? But like, yeah, I thought it was a dream. Like, who? Why wouldn't I think it was a dream? Everything told me it was a dream. So I thought it was dreaming. That is why I didn't believe in your Jesus. That is why I didn't go to your churches. I thought it was a dream. That is why I just continued to do my thing. so, so so on the caption of that video, I wrote that if God was kicking me out from heaven, that's what I will say. The way, like, and then I posted that video of him getting kicked out, and he was saying that he was sorry and he thought it was a dream. But yeah, it is all a dream. It's not real. It's not what you think, and that is why a lot of weird things are happening. I always tell you guys that the reason why life feels weird is because it's a dream. Life isn't weird because it's just weird. It's weird because it's just a dream. There is no background story. The things that you're told about like the things that they think that happened in the past didn't even happen. The past didn't even happen. It's a dream. You know what I'm saying? You don't come from monkeys. You ain't created by the Anunnakis. You're not in a simulation. You thinking that you're in a simulation is part of the dream. And even if you can wake up and you realize it was a simulation, it wouldn't mean that it's not a dream. It means that you're dreaming that you're in a simulation and you still need to wake up. You see? It wouldn't mean that now you've woken up to the real world. If this was the real world, you would know the truth. That's what you must realize. Don't take consciousness for granted. Don't ever think consciousness is something that can be created. Like some dude was trying to create a human, like, yeah, I'm going to give this human consciousness. It's something it's something impossible to create, You don't create consciousness. And not only can you not create it, you cannot destroy it. Some people think consciousness is energy, so be like, yo, you can. It's not even energy. It's just awareness. It's pure awareness. There's nothing that is sourcing awareness. It's all there is. Everything that is happening within awareness. It's happening within the dream. It's the same as imagining things. These things that you're imagining don't really exist, but you can feel as if they do. And the mind is powerful, man. There are people who suffer from what we call mental illnesses and that are able to see things that are in there and they scream. We know there are kids. I remember when I was growing up, there was this kid that used to see animals, and he would always be crying. And you'd see that he actually sings. He would even be scared too. You'd be like, damn, man, maybe what he's saying is real, bro. That's how powerful the mind is. So can you imagine if it's creating everything? You're gonna think it's all real, all of it, and you're gonna be creating background story. Now you are supporting the story. What if you rejected it? Or you just didn't take it seriously because it's not even real anyway? So you might reject the story. Like, you know what? It is what it is. It's all a dream anyway. Or you say, okay, I understand it's a dream. I'm just gonna pay attention to what I'm seeing now without bothering myself too much about things that are not even happening now. There's a reason why when you're playing a video game, when you tend to, let's just say this is the side that you're seeing, and then you turn to another side. It's gonna take time for you to see what's on the other side. Why? Because the game only focuses on what you're seeing. Because it's gonna take a lot of processing power to actually show you everything at once, right? So it has to only focus on what you're seeing now. So can you imagine if you're focusing on things that you're not seeing, what will happen? You're torturing yourself. You're torturing your own brain because you're focusing on things that you're not seeing, things that are not even there. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's much harder if you are super intelligent because you're going to overcomplicate things. So if you are not intelligent, maybe you just think simple things. You know what I'm saying? When something happens, let's say for example you are in a relationship, and the person you're in a relationship with, they're supposed to come home at 7, and they come home at 9. You could be, if you're not very intelligent, you might just think, yeah, maybe they just she's just chilling with her friends, and she's gonna be back and whatever soon, and you don't even think about it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, by the way, but people who are super intelligent, they'll be busy imagining different scenarios in their head. Yeah, what if she's with this person? What if she's doing this? Yeah, what if her phone is off because of this? Now you are torturing yourself. So now your own intelligence, is your worst enemy in that situation. Do you get what I'm saying? Focus on what you are seeing now. Focus on the now. Focus on here and now. And if you want to also think about the past, think about things that you have seen happening without creating stories in your own head, you know? And then learn to detach yourself. That is the answer. The answer is in you trying to uh, understand the stories within this reality, because these stories ain't even going to help you. You get what I'm saying? Especially the stories that are happening in your personal life, they ain't even going to help you. So you shouldn't care that much about the stories. You focus on detachment. That was always the answer. You become so detached that the things that be happening don't really affect you. Now you don't find yourself thinking about these things. Why? Because you're so damn detached. Let's see if this is gonna be how I want it to be. It's gonna be a bit difficult, but it kind of works. Kind of. Just wanna rest a little, man. I'm kind of not feeling that well, but the wound is healing. I think that's why I'm not feeling well. Stop stressing yourself. It's just a dream, you know. That's something that's very, very important to realize. It is just a dream. Stop stressing yourself. Realize that you will wake up one day, and this is something that a lot of people do not realize. And I keep on telling you that if you you don't detach yourself now, it's gonna be difficult for you to touch yourself when you wake up. Maybe life's biggest test is you learning to detach yourself from things, right? It's you realizing that a lot of things that you know you feel like matter don't even matter. You know, a lot of things that you actually think matter don't even matter. I remember I gave you this example before. I still remember this day very well. I lost a pen. It ruined my whole day. I stressed about it the whole day. Now I think back and be like, dude, why? Like that didn't matter. It was just a pen. It was just a pen. Yes, I didn't have money to buy another pen. It was not easy to afford a pen back then, and my parents were gonna be mad at me. But it was not a big deal at all. You know, there are things that are happening in our lives that don't, these things don't even matter, but we make these things matter. What I said is actually powerful. You see, his words are actually powerful, really, man. Listen, matter doesn't exist, but you are what makes it matter, right? So there's no matter, you just make it matter. You don't live in a material universe, you live in it inside a dream. But you're turning your dream into matter yourself, right? when I think about the worst breakup that I've ever had to the worst breakup, not maybe not the worst breakup, but the breakup that hurt me the most. 2018. Yesterday I was thinking about. I think yesterday I was thinking about that girl, and I'm like, I feel nothing. But in 2018, 2019, bro, whenever, like, if I'm watching a movie and someone said something that she had said, maybe if she said to me that, maybe if she said I don't care about her, if a lady in a movie tells a guy that he doesn't care about her, I would think about those words for more than an hour, and I'll be in so much pain, as if she's just she's just told me now. Like I cared, man. I cared. I made our relationship matter. But when I think back, I'm like, she was just a human. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing special. I mean, she was a bit different, but the point that I'm trying to make is that we are the ones that make things matter. We are the ones that take things seriously. And that is very dangerous in this realm. That is why even to love a person is very dangerous, because you are automatically giving them power. You are giving something power. So if the dream decides to change and it makes that person that you love behave differently, and you are so emotionally invested, now it's going to be difficult for you to not take them seriously, right? Because you're so emotionally invested. You have been training yourself to make them matter. So now they actually matter. So it's difficult. That's why I say detachment is actually the answer. And you detach yourself by not creating background stories. It's the background stories that make you attached. If you don't realize it, it's actually the background stories. I'm not saying don't be in relationships. I'm saying don't create background stories. Focus more on what you're seeing, and that's it. You'll see that you won't be too attached. You know, you just do your own thing. You won't even be toxic in relationships. Because you're not focusing on the background stories that don't even exist. You see, so just try to focus more and more on that, and you'll probably be alright. Stop worrying about things that haven't happened yet, or the things that you think have happened that you didn't see happen. You just focus on what you're seeing now. At the end of the day, your job is to detach yourself. Your job isn't to prove that you're smart in this world, or you can figure some stuff out and all of that. That's just gonna make you more miserable. Your job is to detach yourself, so you need to always remind yourself that this is just a dream, and this is what it always will be, a dream. Like, it will never be anything else. It will always be a dream, right? And treat it that way. Treat it like a dream. Don't treat it like it's real, right? Maybe only when you're experiencing something at the time you might pretend as if it's real, just to be safe. But after it has happened, pretend as if it isn't, because it isn't. I mean, just you actually be convincing yourself that it isn't. It's not an easy thing to convince yourself that something that you're experiencing as if it's real isn't real. That is why even if you're watching a horror movie, you get scared. I remember I told you guys about the movie Smile. I think this is the last horror movie that I've watched. I get scared. Like, it's scary. Like, I remember the first time I watched it, I slept alone here. I was scared. No, I'm serious. Like, it was. I didn't watch it. I was watching it when I was at home. That smile, that creepy smile, kind of got me scared. But not scared like that's gonna happen, but just scared by just thinking about it, thinking about it being like that in real life, like there being this mind parasite that makes people smile like that. You know, when I watched the second movie of Smile, there was this scene where these dancers were smiling when I think it's the scariest scene actually. She woke up in a room, and she had some noise, and then she woke up, and then she went to open the door, and she found like maybe 10 people with that smile. All of them were smiling, and she got scared. And as she moved back, they followed her while smiling. That was scary. So I thought about that scene for a while, and I was like, yeah, that's actually like scary. So, so they, so what you need to do is to tell yourself that, well, it's to pretend as if it's not real because it isn't. The movie that you watch is not real. It isn't. It's acting, right? So the things that you're experiencing are not real, even though it feels like they are real because you're not watching this on your cell phone or on your laptop. It's something that you feel that you're experiencing, right? But it's not. It's not. It's just it's in the mind. Really, your mind is trying to be entertained and is creating stories for you to watch these stories and interpret these stories and take these stories seriously. So because it's much easier to focus on the negative stories. Your mind is giving you like it's actually entertained more when you focus on the negative story. Because it's much easier to make someone pay attention by telling him something negative. Your mind is getting entertained. It's getting entertained by negative stuff that you tell yourself, right? There's a reason why if you watch professional wrestling, there will be people who will turn heel and do horrible things and make you hate them. That's what keeps you entertained. So you might hate them, but your mind is entertained. That's why you keep on watching, right? If Brock Lesnar did something super horrible, you will hate Brock Lesnar, but you'll be entertained. You will keep on watching. But if everything was good, there were no problems. Rey Mysterio is having fun. He's always winning. The guys that you want to see win, they're always winning. John Cena is always winning. Those good guys. Shantino is always winning. I like the fact that I don't think Santino could have been able to play villain. Like people will like him whether he's good or bad. He's just funny, right? A lot of people wouldn't watch. They'll get bored. Like, this is boring. Like, why should we keep on watching this? This is just it's no longer interesting. They don't you know what I'm saying? They'll just end up not loving it. So that's the thing. Your mind wants to be entertained. So if you're focusing a lot on these negative stories and telling yourself negative stories, you being anxious all the time, being scared all the time, imagining the worst scenarios in your head and doing that very often. Yeah, your mind is entertained, and like I said, it doesn't know the difference between what you call reality and your thoughts, your imagination. It doesn't know. It's just experiencing what it's experiencing, and that's how it sees it everything. It sees everything as an experience, because even if you are imagining something, you're experiencing it at the same time. That is why if you now imagine something negative happening, you would feel negative emotions, right? And then if you imagine beautiful things happening, then you'll feel positive emotions. It's because that's how it works. That's exactly how it works. So it needs you to be it needs you to be very careful when it comes to the things that you take seriously, if you want to take anything seriously at all. But I would say to you to try to remember that it's all a dream, so that you don't take it seriously no matter what you're experiencing. you know you just have to look at it as a dream, as things happening. And if you look at things that way, even if something negative happened, it these things might not cause a ripple effect. I've been in situations where something bad will happen and I just not pay attention to it. I'll just give up. Like, it is what it is. It has happened, and then it will be like it has not happened. Like, let me give you a simple example. Let's just say you have a fight with someone. After that, you don't even think about it. It is what it is. I'm not even gonna think about it. I'm not even gonna entertain it. You do what you wanna do. Have fun. You meet them the next day, and they don't even talk about it, or maybe they do, they even greet you like nothing happened, and you and this person never ever talk about it again. Like you guys never actually had a fight. But if you have a fight with someone and then you keep thinking about it, you're scared. Ish, what if this person comes? Ish, I've lost a friend or this and that. Then boom, it becomes a problem because it's a ripple effect. Now it's all downhill. You know what I'm saying? Like now it only gets worse. You know. I mean, it all starts getting worse. It doesn't actually get better because of you giving it so much attention, right? So realizing that this is a dream and living life knowing that it's a dream is the best way to live life. That will help you detach yourself. You won't be feeding the icons, the matrix itself, the illusion itself, because you're the one who makes these things real. Remember, as a child, when you were scared of ghosts, they weren't ghosts. You're the one who made them real. You're the one who made them matter. It even got to a point where you will even see them. No, I'm serious, man. Like you'll got to a point where you even see things that are not even real, right? And then you end up realizing that, oh, it's not a ghost. Why? Because you're busy creating them. Basically, you're busy making them matter, right? You're turning something um, that is in the mind into matter. And now you're kind of like starting to experience it. You're starting to manifest it. You see. So the key is to act like this is not real because it isn't. One day you're gonna wake up. For real. Yeah, you're gonna wake up. What really scares me though is that you're not gonna remember a lot of this. That is why if there's a technique that you can use to remember your dreams, you must practice it. Because you still need to remember. You still need to remember that you used to watch videos from a guy called Benedictine and he used to tell you this was not real and you thought he was crazy. And he told you that even after you've woken up from this, you'll still be in a world that's not real. It'll seem real, but until you wake up in a world where you know everything, like you know where you come from, you know why you exist, it makes complete sense. Or you are just pure consciousness. You will, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get it. But if you are still in a dream way, you don't know anything at all, everything is confusing, there's too many religions, too many theories about existence, know that it isn't real. That is why you don't know the truth, is because nothing is real. You would know what's real if anything was. You wouldn't need to be coming up with you. You wouldn't even need to be watching my videos. You know what I'm saying? But I got it. I don't need to. I don't need anyone to tell me what's going on. I know what's going on, right? But there's this, there's this burning question that's in your heart. You want answers to this question, and you're looking for this answer everywhere, right? You see, you don't just watch my videos just to relate. There's also this question that's driving you. You want answers. I don't just make these videos. It's about answers. It's about waking up because I know that I'm deep in a dream. So I need to wake up until I wake up to reality for real. And maybe I can do better next time. Maybe I can create a better world next time. I can stop creating nonsense, right? Maybe I didn't know how to draw. Remember I told you that you can draw something that you don't want to draw. Because some people be like, well, if you are the dreamer, why are you experiencing nonsense? You can draw what you don't want to draw, right? Because you don't know how to draw yet. Thank you all guys for watching this video until the end. Tell me if you watched it until the end. Tell me how it has helped you. Like the video, share the video, and let's join the Discord. This Discord link will be in the video description. It's going down, bro. Like on Discord, like there's a lot that we'll be discussing. Yesterday I think we had a conversation for more than 4 hours. There were a lot of people there. We're talking about different things, also getting to know each other. So I thought that was beautiful. Thank you all, guys.